Imagine walking up to a brick building in New York, putting your name on a simple clipboard, and being told you're hired. You don't have to bring a resume. You don't have to wear a suit. You don't have to explain why you have a 10-year gap in your work history, why you were in prison, or why you struggle with addiction. No one asks about your past. They only care about your future. This isn't a fairy tale. It's a real place in Yonkers, New York, called Grayston Bakery. For over 40 years, they've been practicing a radical business model called open hiring. Their motto has become legendary in the business world. We don't hire people to bake brownies. We bake brownies to hire people. This is the story of how a small bakery turned the entire concept of employment upside down and became a global leader in social justice, all while making some of the best brownies on the planet. In most companies, the hiring process is like a high-stakes game of keep away. Businesses spend thousands of dollars on software to scan resumes for keywords. They put applicants through 3, 4, or even 5 rounds of interviews. They run background checks, credit checks, and drug tests. Every step of that process is designed to find a reason to say no. Grayston Bakery does the exact opposite. At Grayston, if you want a job, you walk into their front office and put your name on a waiting list. When a position opens up, the person at the very top of that list gets a phone call. That's it. There is no screening. There is no vetted pool of candidates. It doesn't matter if you just got out of jail yesterday. It doesn't matter if you don't have a high school diploma. It doesn't matter if you've never held a job in your life. If your name is next on the list, the job is yours. The traditional hiring system is built on a barrier mindset. If you have a criminal record, most HR departments will toss your application in the trash before even reading it. This creates a vicious cycle. A person makes a mistake, goes to prison, serves their time, and comes out wanting to change their life. But because they have a record, no one will hire them. Because no one will hire them, they can't pay rent or buy food. This often leads people back to crime just to survive. Grayston breaks that cycle. By removing the barriers to entry, they give people a way to support their families, pay taxes, and feel a sense of pride. They prove that a person's worst mistakes shouldn't define them for the rest of their life. You might think a bakery full of people with no experience or rough backgrounds would be a chaotic mess. You might think the quality would be low or the kitchen would be dangerous. But Grayston is a world-class professional facility. They aren't just making a few cookies for the neighborhood coffee shop. They are the primary supplier of brownies for Ben & Jerry's. Every time you eat a pint of chocolate fudge brownie or half-baked ice cream anywhere in the world, you are eating a brownie baked by someone who was given a second chance at Grayston. The bakery produces over 35,000 pounds of brownies every single day. They operate with high-tech machinery and have incredibly high standards for food safety and quality. They have to. Ben & Jerry's is a massive corporation with strict requirements. Grayston proves that you can have a social heart and still run a hard-nosed, profitable business. They aren't a charity. They are a B Corp benefit corporation that competes with the best in the industry. Open hiring doesn't mean no rules. It just means an open door. Once someone is hired from the list, they enter a 10-month apprenticeship. During this time, they learn everything: how to handle the heavy mixers, how to follow strict recipes, and how to work safely in a fast-paced environment. The bakery is a business, and the brownies have to be perfect. If an employee doesn't show up on time, doesn't follow safety rules, or can't work well with the team, they can still be fired. The difference is that at Grayston, you start at the same baseline as everyone else. Your success depends on what you do today and tomorrow, not what you did 10 years ago.
All roads lead to Baked Cravings. Our treats are peanut-free and sesame seed-free. Local delivery and in-store pickup, as well as national shipping. Our cupcakes, cookies, brownies are sure to make your next event special. Remember, Baked Cravings delivers the party.
For many of these workers, it's the first time in their lives they've been trusted with real responsibility. Grayston understands that a paycheck is only one part of the puzzle. If you give someone a job but they don't have a place to sleep, or they can't find childcare for their kids, they probably won't be able to keep that job for long. Because of this, the bakery offers more than just a kitchen. They have a whole support system. They provide pathways programs that help employees find affordable housing, get medical care, and even work on their education. They also offer life skills training. For someone who has spent years in the prison system, the rules of a workplace can feel alien. Grayston helps them transition into a productive, stable life. They aren't just teaching people how to bake, they're teaching them how to build a life. Here is the part that usually gets the attention of politicians and other business owners. Open hiring saves a lot of money. When a person is unemployed or in prison, it costs the government and the taxpayers a lot of money. When that same person gets a job at Grayston, they start paying taxes. They spend their money in the local community. They no longer need government assistance. Grayston estimates that their model saves the public millions of dollars every year by keeping people out of the justice system and moving them into the workforce. It turns tax consumers into taxpayers. Grayston isn't trying to keep this a secret. They want to be the spark that starts a fire. They've launched the Center for Open Hiring to teach other CEOs and business owners how to do exactly what they do. They provide the playbook for how to ditch resumes and start trusting people. They argue that in a world where many industries are complaining about labor shortages, there is actually a huge pool of talented, hardworking people who are simply being ignored because of their past. Big companies like The Body Shop have already started using open hiring in their distribution centers, and they've seen incredible results. Turnover goes down, and employee loyalty goes way up. When you are the only person who will give someone a chance, that person becomes your most dedicated worker. At its core, Grayston Bakery is about human dignity. It's about the idea that everyone has value, even if they've messed up. Most of us have been lucky enough to have people in our lives who gave us a second chance, maybe a teacher who let us redo a test, or a parent who forgave a mistake. Grayston takes that human kindness and turns it into a business strategy. They've proven that you don't need a fancy HR department or a complicated interview process to build a world-class team. You just need a clipboard, a waiting list, and a belief that people can change. So, the next time you see a box of Grayston brownies or a pint of Ben & Jerry's, remember that it's more than just dessert. It's a symbol of a different kind of world, one where your past doesn't define your future. Is the open hiring model the future of work? Do you think more companies should stop looking at resumes and start looking at the person in front of them? We want to hear your thoughts. Have you ever had a second chance that changed your life? Drop a comment below and let us know. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the people and businesses that are changing the world. See you in the next one.